Don't you let somebody standing on the outside of you say something about you that makes you die. Don't you let somebody who left you or forsook you or divorced you or denied you or betrayed you make you hate your life enough that you stop breathing before you see the fulfillment of the promise of God in your life. And so whether you're in this room or whether you're in one of the campuses or whether you're in an overflow room or whether you're standing outside peeking in the door or whether you're streaming online, I wrote a book that ain't sexy and ain't full about the promises of God and 3 ways to be blessed and 5 ways to get a new car and 2 ways to get your house painted while you sit on your couch. I wrote to the people who have been crushed.
Hey, what's going on, everybody? Listen, that clip was powerful as we sat back and watched a little bit of a snippet of what a whole conversation was between Bishop T.D. Jakes and Steve Furtick, and I will link the remainder of that video in the description for you to watch when you get the chance. But I definitely wanted to speak to some of that because there was a lot of good stuff in there. When we talk about struggle, when we talk about enduring pain, when we talk about enduring sufferings that we all experience or will experience if you haven't yet, because sufferings is a part of this life. Sufferings and pain are what just simply comes with the package deal that is life. No matter if you're a Christian, no matter if you believe in God, you don't believe in God, no matter your situation, your faith, where you stand, wherever walk you come from, where you live, what you're into, what you're doing, who you're with, who you left, no matter what it is, struggle will always be a part of the life that we live on this earth. And that is something that is carried out in truth. In fact, Jesus tells us, promises us that suffering will be here, that we will endure hard times. But on the back end of that same thing that Jesus promises to us, he also promises and tells us, rather, to be of good cheer, for he has overcome the world. And so this suffering that we go through is not limited to your background, your race, your ethnicity, who you are, what you stand for. Struggle still happens. And sometimes those struggles and those pains and those sufferings can overwhelm us. Those sufferings can cause our hearts to break and break and break, and can cause frustrations, can cause confusion, can cause things that we would have never dreamed of having. Cause of unbearable, unimaginable pains that we just can't even describe at times. The only way we can describe it is when the tears flow and when the hearts break and when people continue to walk in and out of our lives and we just don't know why. We can't really pinpoint why such a struggle is going on. We really can't put our finger on why us, why me, why is this happening to me? Maybe it's a sickness you've been dealing with. Maybe it's loved ones that you're losing. Maybe it's the job that you're working that you just didn't think it was going to be. Maybe you're at a point in your life where you thought you'd be further than you are by now. You thought you'd be married. You thought you'd have kids. You thought you'd have all these other things. And it turns out none of that is to be right now. Maybe you're in a position where you're drained and you just feel you've given your all and there's nothing left to give. So you've just thrown in the towel, or you're really close to it. Maybe it's you've been abandoned by so many people in your life that if somebody even looks at you like they care, you push them away because you would rather not see them come into your life than to welcome them into your life and watch them do you like everybody else in your life has done, walk away. Maybe it's a marriage. Maybe it's a marriage that's falling apart. Maybe it's a marriage that you got into that and it wasn't all that you thought it was going to be. Maybe it's your family. Maybe it's your circumstances individually. I don't know what it could be. Maybe you've been abused physically, emotionally, verbally. Maybe you've just been abused in every way imaginable throughout your life. Maybe you're at a stage, get this, maybe you're at a stage where pain has become normal to you. And the normalcy of that pain has allowed you to rest in it because you don't know what a good day looks like anymore. You've just become numb to the pain that is happening in and around your life. But I want to encourage you. I want to encourage you in this video right here, to you that's struggling, to you that just can't seem to find a reason to stand back up again, to come out of that place in that pit, that sunken place where you have just allowed the pain to just bum rush you and bully you and push you around. And even though maybe you didn't allow it, it just happened, but you just haven't seen any motivation. Maybe you just don't have the want to stand back up again. I want to encourage you to not stay here. No. Don't rest here. Don't rest here, because the struggle that we endure is a stage in our lives. You know, TD Jakes makes a reference in this video, the same video that we played, of grapes being crushed to wine. And before the wine could be produced for the parties and for the get-togethers and the gatherings, for the great wine to be used and to be drank and to just enjoy a good festival, the wine was once grapes that had to be crushed. And the grapes were crushed at the bottom of the feet of those who were just stomping away and crushing away to every bit and piece till everything that was once grapes is now pure liquid. But before it got to that liquid stage, it had to be crushed. Before it got to its best use, it had to be crushed. Listen, you and I in this life will go through things and go through experiences that will crush us. Yep. I'm not even going to sugarcoat it for you. There are going to be areas in our lives where we will be crushed. And we'll be crushed so bad we don't think we could have the strength to stand up. We don't think we'll have the strength to keep going. We just feel that this is it. But the same crushing can be the very thing God uses in your life to propel you to what he has in store for you. I want to give you a little bit of my story myself. With playing basketball, I used to be a basketball player and wanted to play at high levels. And before the pandemic came, I got an opportunity to play an opportunity to play for Texas Wesleyan University, a school that I tried out for twice, and the tryouts went well, and I wasn't going to be able to get a scholarship, but just be able to join the team and possibly earn a scholarship once I was on the team. I thought everything was coming together. I thought this is what it was going to be, and then I was broken with the news that I wasn't going to be able to join the team. I wasn't going to be able to get there. I wasn't going to be able to be a part of the team, and y'all, that broke me, crushed me. Talk about being crushed. And it may not be the same story for everybody. Everybody has their different lanes and different places, different areas, different struggle experiences or painful experiences. But for me, that's what crushed me. That's a place in my life that I was at my lowest. Tears flowing, frustration, questions. Why? But that very crushing has led me to where I am today. Not just in my relationship with God, but in what he's instilled in me from that very moment to even share in moments like this. Your crushing does not have to define you or keep you where you are, but it can be the very thing that God uses to propel to what he has for you. You don't have to remain in this crushing. You don't have to remain in this stage. You don't have to remain in the sunken place. Don't make this your living habitat. Don't make this your home. Don't make this your resting place. Don't make this place where you pitch your tent and you camp out and you get comfortable. Don't allow the sunken places and the places of pain in your life. Don't allow that to be a place where you rest. But I'm encouraging you to stand up and fight. I'm encouraging you to press forward. I'm encouraging you that you will stand back up again. And here's what's amazing about God is that God will reach out his hands to not only help you carry the load that you are feeling, that seems to be weighing on you, pressing on you, crushing on you, God not only just wants to step in and help you relieve that pain, but there are times where God may not relieve the pain, but just strengthen you to endure it. Yeah, well, see, there's a lot of things that we still go through, even as believers. Believers still struggle. Look at Paul. I'm going to read this verse here. 2 Corinthians 4 verse 17 says, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory." Paul himself, who is an apostle, struggled. Paul, who was once a murderer of Christians, encountered Jesus. His life turned around on the Damascus Road. He became a disciple and an apostle for the gospel of Jesus Christ, and he still struggled. He was still afflicted, wounded. He was still beaten. He was still stoned out of cities. And yet here he is in 2 Corinthians 4:17 saying, "For our light affliction is but for a moment." That's faith, y'all. But for a moment. But for a moment. Works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. So I come by just to add this to you. I just come by to share this with you. Wherever you are in your moment of life in this very moment, I don't care who you are, what you're doing, what you're into, where you come from, your job description, your person description. I don't care what it is. You do not have to rest in the places of struggle in your life. Because God not only wants to relieve you of such struggles, but strengthen you to endure through struggles that he may not take away. Struggles in this life still come. Christ promised it, that sufferings will still be. But he tells us to continue pressing toward him, pressing toward the mark, pressing toward what he has for our lives, even in the midst of the struggle. Because for our light affliction, which is but for a moment, works for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory. The struggles that we endure in this life that will come and go are not to be compared to what Christ will reveal to us in glory to those who believe. But I want to reach to those who may not even know Jesus, that he wants to help you with those struggles. I'm not saying your struggles are going to go overnight because you acknowledge Jesus wants to help and you acknowledge who he is, because struggles still come. Those don't stop. But when you have somebody and when you have the right somebody with you during these struggles, he not only knows how to uplift you during those sunken places, during those times where tears just continue to flow and they don't stop, times where that frustration overboils and it doesn't stop, times where you're lonely and that frustration, you're just balled up and can't find the reason to stand back up again. Jesus wants to stand you back up. Jesus can not only stand up and get in it himself with you, but he'll use people around you to strengthen you to stand up too. Don't stay here. Don't remain in a place of pain and misery, in a place of struggle. The struggle is real. You're absolutely right. The struggle is real. But don't stay in the struggle. Be strengthened. And remember to stand back up and fight. You've got too much on the line. You've got too much to fight for. You've come too far to let go and throw in the towel. There are others in your family, others around you that are counting on you to stand back up again, that are counting on you to keep going, that are counting on you to continue to pursue what God has in store for you. So don't make the crushing phase your resting place, but stand back up and fight again.